Oh, Bo. Welcome to the Daily Neitz, a daily look at classic films, modern cinema, and the world of professional wrestling. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. Stand-up comedy has been a big part of my life since I was in middle school, high school. I used to watch the half-hour specials and Premium Blend and that kind of thing on Comedy Central. My high school graduation party ended with 20 of us sitting in my basement watching Gabriel Iglesias' first special, Hot and Fluffy. Through college, started getting deep into it, buying albums, that kind of thing. And one of the guys was Bo Burnham. The first time I saw him was in just a short video on College Humor. He performed at one of their live shows at UCB, and he did his song "Men and Women," and it stuck with me because it was different from a lot of comedy I'd heard, because not a lot of comedians do the music, because it's a little bit of a gimmick, but he did it very differently with a lot of misdirection and wordplay, and I really appreciated that. And it was a few years later that his name popped up again. He had a comedy a special, an hour and a half long special debuting on Comedy Central called Words, 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 and my best friend Mark and I sat down and watched the debut. And it was 11 p.m. My parents were asleep upstairs, and we had to grip each other's knees to stop ourselves from laughing so loud, because it was just this new level of comedy that I hadn't heard anything like it. It was different. And a few years ago, he released a special called What, which changed from comedy to performance art. And a week or two ago, he just released another special called Make Happy on Netflix. And that's what I watched today. And it's been an interesting thing seeing him evolve, his style and his tone evolve over the past nearly 10 years, 8 years I think, since I've known who he was. And his earlier album, which I can't remember the name of it, but it's just songs about oh, my family thinks I'm gay, and here's a goofy song about math. And it's just really simple songs. But then as he got better at music, as he's gotten older and lived out in the world for longer, a lot of his tone's gotten darker, and his songs aren't about just goofy things he observes anymore, but his songs are about the music itself. And that's what he really hit with this special. He hinted at it at the end of Words, Words, Words with the song Repeat Stuff, where he basically made a parody of pop love songs, like Justin Bieber and One Direction songs. And I think 3 times during this new special, Make Happy, he did the same thing. He did a bit where he lampooned modern rap. And I'm not going to ruin the bit for you, but it is the most accurate description of modern rap I've ever heard. And he nailed it in a funny and perfect way. So if you ever want to ask me my problem with modern rap, I would just point you to that clip of Make Happy. He also tackled stadium country music, and the finale of the show is simultaneously a parody of what Kanye West does in his concerts, and also does it better and more sincerely than Kanye West. And it's so interesting how this young comedian, he's younger than I am, has had at least four, I think he has another album I don't even have. He's got these 4 album/specials that have evolved comedy, and they've made the medium of comedy different. Because I was listening in my car today, the audio album of What, which is his 3rd or 4th, is the one a few years back. And some of his songs and jokes don't work as well on the album because there's a visual element. He does a lot of stuff with mime and things like that, and the same goes for Make Happy. A lot of facial expressions and little gestures and sound effects, and he makes a joke that can only work. It wouldn't even work in the live audience. It only worked on the special because of camera cutting. And the way he's just changed the medium of comedy and taken the aspect of being filmed and being in a theater and being able to shine lights on the audience and all that stuff and having kind of special effects. He's taken all that and made them jokes instead of just things to amplify his presence. And it's amazing how much he's changing the comedy game from, standing on stage with a microphone for an hour. There's another comedian named Tony Hinchcliffe, I believe, who did a special last year called One Shot. And the whole special, the camera never cuts. And I feel like that's the complete opposite, in that whole special was him just standing on stage with a camera on him. But Bo will take the camera on him and make the camera a part of the joke, and he will make his set a part of the joke, and different like theatrical effects are a part of the joke. And it's just so different. It transcends, to me, it transcends stand-up comedy and becomes performance art. And that's why I feel like I can talk about it, because what else am I going to talk about with, like, say, a Louis C.K. special? It's like, oh, that bit about his butthole was hilarious. Like, there's not much to say, but with Bo, the way he does comedy is, there's so much to talk about, there's so much to dive into, and how much of himself he leaves out there. A lot of stand-up comedy is being yourself in front of an audience, and that's the scary thing about doing it. I've considered doing stand-up comedy myself in the past, and I'm honestly too afraid to stand in front of an audience and be myself. I need to put on some sort of a guard. And Bo simultaneously puts on the guard and is still so deeply personal and deeply himself in his specials. And we actually, Cody and I watched it together, and at the very end of it, the credits started rolling, and we were both about to cry because of how much of himself he just laid out on the table. His own resentment of his career, and how he feels like what he's doing is art and he shouldn't be getting paid for it, and yet he is, and he hasn't like changed that. And it gets dark and human, and it's a very different experience watching one of his specials. He's still one of my favorite comedians, and I think, like, I don't think enough people know he exists, and he is so talented musically as well. His music, the quality of his music has gotten so much better over the years, more complex musically and lyrically, and he is a true artist, and there aren't too many stand-ups that I feel comfortable calling artists. You could be a great stand-up comedian, but that doesn't necessarily make you like a performance artist. And that's what he is, and that's why I felt like I needed to talk about him, and like my experiences watching Bo Burnham, listening to his albums, and really appreciating the art that he does. I almost feel bad saying all this because I feel like he wouldn't want me to say things, but I don't know. He's an interesting character, and I'd love to meet him in real life, but I'd also be terrified too. But I really appreciate the work he's done. I think that's all I really want to say about Bo Burnham. Cody, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No.
Alright. I think I hit everything I wanted to hit. Tomorrow, the horror classic Silence of the Lambs, which is a great movie. But until then, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section below. You can also follow me on Twitter at Neitz. And until tomorrow,